Hey guys, this is Dr. Colin Zhu, and thank you so much for being here with us on the Thrive Bites podcast. This is season 4, and we're so excited for you to be here. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dr. Colin Zhu, double boarded in family and lifestyle medicine, and I interview the best and most passionate health and wellness experts of the industry on this platform. And we talk about plant-powered living, emotional resilience, and creating a thriving mindset. And this season, we're taking it live, we're taking it on multiple platforms, and we're taking it as a Q&A discussion as well as our interviewing of our guests. So we're super stoked about this, and please remember to like and subscribe down below, and we will see you. Welcome to the next episode. All right. Well, welcome everyone to the Thrive Bites podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Colin Zhu, and thank you so much for being here. You could be anywhere in the world, and you decided to spend just a few moments with us on this wonderful episode, and I cannot wait. We have a fabulous session here today. I am truly privileged and honored to have Chef Rich LaMarita with us for the second time on the podcast. And I'm going to introduce and share a little bit about his bio. So Chef Richard LaMarita has had a diverse culinary career. He has been a chef instructor for the world-renowned plant-based program at the Natural Gourmet Institute in New York City for 25 years. And currently he teaches at the Health Supportive Culinary Arts program at the Institute of Culinary Education, New York City. And his specialty, along with vegetarian and vegan cooking, is Indian, Italian, and Ayurvedic cuisine. He's a graduate of Institute of Culinary Education, New York City, where he completed the program in 2003, 2004, and has worked with numerous well-known chefs in New York City, including Chef Floyd Cardoz, Dan Kluger, and Ben Pollinger at Tabla Restaurants. And he also works as a private chef and private instructor in Manhattan, and also in the Hamptons since 1995, and working for very well-known notable families. And currently he has a love affair with Ayurveda. And for those who don't know, Ayurveda is a science of life and health for 35 years, and he's a practitioner and teacher of it. And currently he is studying to be a Vedic and Ayurvedic master at the Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, and he has led seminars on this topic, and he's doing an online master's program. And I can't wait to delve in a little bit more. So without further ado, please welcome Chef Rich. Hey, how's it going?
Thanks, Colin. Thanks for the introduction. Glad to be here.
Oh man, thank you so much. I really excited, to be here with you. Can't wait for this session. So today we're going to go into your love affair for Indian cooking, and you have been on, my show, previously, and we really dwelled deeper into, your time in India. You spent some time in an ashram. And for those who've never, heard that session or, haven't really met you for the first time, can you go into a little bit of snippet of how you got, a boy from the East Coast all the way over there, and how you, came to fall in love with Indian cooking?
Well, okay. Well, how I got to cook in an Indian ashram was, through my association and through my connection with I've been a long-term practitioner of transcendental meditation technique. In fact, I've been doing that for over 50 years now. This year is my 50th year anniversary, and I was just able through the context that I knew from there to be able to go to India and cook in an ashram, for the people who were living there. And it was mainly Westerners or non-Indians. They're people from all over the world, but non-Indians who were kind of living, yogis being, living in the ashram and living there pretty much full time. So that's what got me over there specifically. I had already, developed a love affair with Indian cooking already. That's a whole different story, and I think that story we'll tell that one. I think it's one thing I could say about it is that it is opposites attract. Opposites attract. I grew up in a classic Italian household. My mom was an excellent cook. We had good food around us. Every typical food that you ate, growing up in the 50s and the 60s. But my mom was an excellent cook, and she made great Italian food. So I knew Italian food very well. And Italian food, when you get to learn it, it's very simple in its approach. They don't do, they don't make things too complicated. They rely heavily on the flavor of the ingredients, and maybe add, one or two herbs, like tomato goes with basil, and rosemary goes with potatoes, and and things like that. So it's not a complex cuisine. It's delicious, but it's not a super complex cuisine. I think its secret is its simplicity. And then I discovered Indian cuisine. Directly opposite. The flavors are strong, very strong, not afraid to really hit you hard. Yet the flavors are very deep, very complex flavors. A real combinations of flavors and combinations hitting you in the mouth. And at the same time, very rounded, very well rounded, not very jagged in its edges. When you think about kind of bringing a lot of these tastes and flavors together, sometimes it can be a little bit jagged, but Indian food is so rounded and so refined. It just blew my mind away, actually, that this cuisine even existed. One of the reasons that I came to the cuisine to try it out, I was 19, I believe, 18, 19, 19. I was just starting college, and I had become a vegetarian. And I was a vegetarian for close to 25 years. Back in the day, there weren't a lot of choices for vegetarian restaurants. And Indian food was always a good bet. Also, the fact that I had been starting my meditation, I started meditation, and of course, meditation and yoga come from India. I became, I explored Indian cuisine as well. That was my infatuation with Indian cuisine. Just, really amazed at what I was eating. And then I really start to kind of understand it and know it, and start to cook it. I was very lucky to be able to travel to India 3 different times, spend almost a year each time in India, learning a little bit about the cuisine, tasting the cuisine, learning a little bit about the cooking. When I was working in the ashram, yes, then I was the head chef in the ashram, working with Indian chefs who really knew what they were doing. So we were bouncing off each other, and that really developed my understanding. I was also very fortunate to work under probably one of the greatest Indian chefs we know. That was Floyd Cardoz, who opened Tabla Restaurant. He opened Tabla Restaurant in the early 2000s, and I worked there for pretty close to 3 years. As a line cook, under him and under really great chefs that were working with him, and understanding his food, and understanding, his method of spicing, really changed things, really developed and deepened my understanding of Indian cuisine. So I really grateful, for my teachers there, who did, expand and deepen my knowledge of Indian cuisine.
Yeah.
I've been cooking it, eating it ever since.
for a very long time, right? My question to you, Chef Rich, is what was the vegetarian movement back then, during that time? Because obviously, we've evolved over time. There's so many different options. Not everything is tofurkey or spam anymore. What was the vegetarian / vegan / plant-based, I guess, environment back in the day? Can you speak to that a little bit?
It was pretty much non-existent. It was, so we're talking, so we're talking about, years of, when I first discovered Indian cuisine, it was like the early 70s. So we're talking 50 years ago. Wow. 50 years ago about. I don't remember a vegetarian restaurant back then. When I went out and tried to order a vegetarian meal back then, vegan, they didn't even know what vegan was. But when I went to order a vegetarian meal, it was the typical thing of you would just get whatever veggies were on the sides of the other dishes. It wasn't vegetarian cuisine that stood up on its own as a complete meal with regard to using alternative proteins and whole grains, and interesting things to do with vegetables. It wasn't anything like that. And that's really what gravitated me towards Indian cuisine, because Indian cuisine, they were making, they have phenomenal vegetarian dishes, in their culture,
Yeah.
So I would say it was pretty much,
Yeah. So given the current climate that we have and the environment and the different options and styles and restaurants, are you happier in terms of where we're at with having all these diverse and this variety of plant-based options in terms of restaurants and home deliveries and takeouts and just so many different cookbook authors? Are you satisfied with where we're at, or you feel like we still have a long way to go to getting to a place where it's no longer just side vegetables to a main plate? It's we can think of it, a shift of perspective of thinking of it as the main course meal. Do you think we're there yet, or we still have some ways to go?
Look at 11 Madison Park right now. Daniel Hume, one of the greatest chefs in the world, running one of the best restaurants in the world, announces this year that his restaurant is going all vegan. It's just a tasting menu of all vegan. So this is at the highest level of the restaurant industry. That says a lot. That that chefs are waking up to this. Chefs that I know, like Dan Kruger from Loring Place, what he does with vegetables is just absolutely magnificent. Gramercy Tavern now is said to be a vegetable forward restaurant. It's not vegetarian, it's not vegan, but it's vegetable forward. In other words, the vegetables don't play a side role; they play a main role on the plate. And then you have your just really great vegetarian and vegan restaurants out there in pretty much every city. So it's blossoming, it's blooming, it's growing. It's a wonderful trend. It's a fantastic trend. These are the students we teach. These are the students we teach at Institute of Culinary Education in the Health Supportive Culinary Arts program, and it's a program that's running strong. They want, there are people out there who want to learn how to cook this way, who want to know what to do with tofu, tempeh, seitan, who want to put together a complete meal that is 100% plant-based, so that you really feel satisfied. You feel satisfied in terms of nourishment. You feel satisfied in terms of culinary tastes. Your experience, and with the whole restaurant experience, basically. So I'm happy. Yeah, definitely happy where it's at. Sure.
Well, I am so thrilled that I was able to graduate from such a world-renowned esteemed program. When it was there standalone, before it got acquired by ICE, which I know is an incredible institution for it to pick it up, and for you to be able to continue that legacy of Dr. Anne-Marie Coleman and the other Natural Gourmet Institute instructors as well. So I would love to kind of get into the culinary demonstration. And what do you have for us today that you're about to prepare?
Okay, it's an Indian dish. It's a kind of meal in itself, and it's improvisational in a way. And I want to show everybody out there that Indian food doesn't have to be it's complex, but it doesn't have to be too complicated. You don't have to make it too complicated. You don't have to be scared of it in terms of working with spices and thinking, oh, does this spice go with this? And how do I do this? I want to give you some basic principles so that you feel comfortable to whip up a nice Indian dish, So for instance, the base of this is chickpeas, okay? So this is going to be like a chickpea coconut curry. So let me just move things around here. So already on the stove, and we'll go over to the stove in a minute, I have some chickpeas already cooking. They're simmering. In the chickpeas is cumin powder, leaves, curry leaves. So that's simmering, that's giving flavor to the water. And the chickpeas have actually been cooking. They've actually been cooking for almost an hour. Just a nice simmer, almost an hour. I want them nice and soft and beautiful, okay? So that's happening already. And now the vegetables we're going to use are vegetables that I like and vegetables that I had around, particularly two of them. Okay, so one is cauliflower. So I roasted some cauliflower. If you could see, can everybody see the other screen as well? Yeah. So here's the cauliflower. So I cut the cauliflower into little florets, really simple like this. I tossed this with a little bit of oil, some coconut oil, and then salt and pepper, and roasted it. Okay. Then we're going to use mushrooms. I love mushrooms. And here are some mushrooms that we got at the farmer's market on Sunday. So I have some shiitakes right here. And I'm going to cut through these shiitakes really simply and quickly. Okay. I like to do a mix of mushrooms for texture and also for flavor. I think mushrooms are very flavorful when you pan roast them. Anybody know what these are out there? Anybody?
They look like.
Anybody out there know what kind of mushrooms these are?
They look like trumpets or oysters, right?
Yeah, no, these are lion's mane. Lion's mane. Okay. And then this is oyster right here. This is oyster. So I'll take off the kind of tough stem right here, and then just tear the leaves. And then we're going to saute this, pan roast this. Won't be very long. And then I'm going to mix it with the cauliflower. And then some greens, a couple of leaves of greens. Some Tuscan kale. So some nice fresh Tuscan kale, chiffonade, that we're going to just add towards the very end. It'll cook up in a second. Okay. So that's our veggies. So what I'm saying in terms of improving a little bit, use what veggies you have and start combining. Most veggies go together. Eggplant and mushrooms go together. Cauliflower and broccoli, cauliflower and onion. Just butternut squash or squash and mushrooms. Fantastic combination. Squashes and greens. Good combinations. So to just create your own, medleys of vegetables. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's our vegetable. Okay. And then we're going to do the actual sauce. Okay. So I have that mise en place out right here. We'll go over to the stove very soon and actually make the sauce. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the sauce that's going to bring in a lot of the Indian elements of the spices and also the aromatics, the specific aromatics of Indian / Asian cooking, really, too. So here are my spices over here. I don't know if you can see them in the other view. Yeah. So I'm pretty much a spice geek. I like to keep my spices in really good shape. So I have them in these kind of vacuum-packed Bodum glass jars.
Wow.
Yes,
wow.
Very beautiful. Very beautiful. They stay really fresh this way.
Huh.
Stay very fresh because you have this vacuum pack right here. So that's how I keep my spices. I don't keep a lot of ground spices around. A few turmeric, maybe a little bit of garam masala, something like that. But I'm mainly using whole spices. And then I have my spice grinder that I will grind. Okay. So what spices should you use? If you think, oh my gosh, I want to do an Indian dish, what are the ones I should grab? I mean, again, it's be free, be open, experiment. In probably most curries, you have probably at least one or two of the powerful 3 digestive spices, which are cumin, coriander, fennel. 3 incredible digestive spices, great for digestion. So probably you're going to see at least 1, maybe 2 of those. Okay. Certainly you're going to find turmeric. Turmeric is very special in Indian cuisine. It's in so many dishes, and it's such a special spice because of its its anti-inflammatory properties, and because of its flavor. Its flavor notes are a little bit bitter, which are very nice. So so we got cumin, got some coriander, got some turmeric. Now, one little bit of information that's good to know is that when you mix black pepper with turmeric, it makes the turmeric more available, makes the benefits of the turmeric more available. They say hundreds of % more. On top of turmeric is fat soluble. So when you cook it in fat, it also becomes more bioavailable to you. Okay, so we're going to add turmeric. In this one, also we're going to add some mustard seed because I love mustard seed, the brown mustard seed. Not a lot of heat, but it gives it kind of also gives kind of like a little bit of a bitter note to it. And also I like onion seed, also called kalonji. It's a wonderful seed, and it's spice. It's kind of sweet. So you have a nice combinations of flavors here, you know, bitter, sweet, got a little bit of the pungency from the cumin and the coriander, and then the fennel also is a little bit sweet. So I got a lot of flavors going on just with the spices alone. But just and then our aromatics are going to be ginger and shallots. So that plus the coconut milk is going to be our sauce. Okay, and then we're going to toss that. Yep, we're going to toss that with the vegetables and finish it with a little bit of lime juice, some cilantro, and that's it. That's our dish. And we could put some curry leaves in. I have a curry plant.
Oh, that's awesome.
I just went right over to the tree and picked a curry plant.
Awesome.
Fresh curry. Okay. It stays outside in the summer, and I just brought it in today. I actually should have brought it in a few weeks ago, but I could smell it right now. It's just wafting through the air. You know.
So what does it add, like fresh curry leaves to a dish? For those that are not familiar with it.
Okay, so fresh curry adds the uniqueness. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like the flavor of fresh curry. Curry powder really came from the fresh curries in South India, and the fresh curries were made with fresh curry leaves. Back in the day of the East India Trading Company, and when the British first kind of were in India and trading, but then they wanted to make the curry blends, but the leaves are very delicate, so the leaves didn't work in transporting, but they still called curry the spice mixture, even though it's really a dish. But this gives such a unique flavor and aroma. There's nothing like it. There's no substitute.
So you kind of have to experience it in order to really actually understand the depth of it.
Right. And I consider it more of a herb than a particular spice. Some spices, of course, have medicinal flavors. And right now I'm just making a simple Indian style bread. So I have you can do this with Indian flour called chapati flour. I couldn't find it today. So this is just a mix of whole wheat and white. Okay. And then there's some salt, and then some ghee, about 2 tablespoons of ghee, and then 1 or 2 tablespoons. I think it's 2 tablespoons of fennel seed. No, 1 heaping tablespoon of fennel seed. And I'm just going to add a little bit of water to this, and I'm going to make a super simple dough. This is going to be flatbread. It's not a yeasted bread. Okay.
Chef Rich, can I ask you a question?
Anytime.
So ghee is very, traditional in Indian cuisine. It's clarified, butter, right? So a question is that for someone that isn't using dairy, would there be a substitute for the ghee for this recipe? Have you tried anything else?
Absolutely. Use coconut oil. Coconut oil is a nice fat. If you want to use a good organic first pressed canola, you can use that. I would definitely stay away from olive. Then that's very Italian, and you get kind of the Italian feel from it, But definitely you can use other fats. That's not a problem. That's not a problem at all. So here's our dough. I'm going to need a little bit more flour, so just hold on.
So, you live in the wonderful city of Manhattan, where, it's the number one place for, a melting pot for all kinds of, ethnic cultures and stuff. So in terms of spices, let's just say someone who's watching is not from a big urban metropolitan area. Do you have any recommendations in terms of where people can get their spices somewhere else, whether it's online or, maybe it's just some places they haven't looked yet?
That's a good question. I mean, I do get my spices mainly, I don't buy online, so I'm not up to all the great sources like that. I know the great spice store in New York City is called Kalustyan's, and Kalustyan's ships anywhere. So you can order from Kalustyan's, and they have organic spices as well. Okay.
I personally haven't used them before, but I heard Pensie's spices are pretty good as well.
Oh, I've heard of that company. Yeah, I heard of that company too.
Yeah. So I'll put those in the show notes after this airs. So for people that are wanting to order and have it delivered. So
great idea. So here's the dough. It's soft. Should be a nice soft dough. Okay. Then we're going to make a really simple bread out of that. All right. So I'm just going to lay that over here. Should we go over and start cooking?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay, let's do that. All right.
Yep, there you go. Beautiful. Awesome.
Okay, good. So right here are the chickpeas. All right. So the chickpeas I've been cooking for over an hour. I'm going to pull out the bay leaf. Curry leaves I can keep right in there. Okay. This is the stem from the curry leaf. That's fine. I'm going to pull that out. The chickpeas are pretty much done. Okay. It's got a little bit of liquid in. It's looking fine. All right. Okay. So let's start with just doing the mushrooms. Okay.
So for those that are wondering, Chef Rich will provide the recipes after this airs. So just be on the lookout. We'll put it in the show notes.
So again, I'm using ghee for tonight. Ghee, if you don't know, is clarified butter. So it's butter with the milk fat gone, and it behaves more like an oil than a butter. In terms of smoking point, doesn't burn as readily. Okay, so I'm going to have a couple of things going on simultaneously. All right, so I'm just going to pan roast. It's called pan roast these mushrooms. Season them. Okay, we're going to get these mushrooms cooking. Over here is where I'm going to do my sauce. Okay, so I'm going to get the pan cooking. But really, the sauce is going to be in here, but we're starting it here. I'm going to go also some ghee. I'm going to start off with some ghee. First thing that's going to go in, we're going to line it up, the mustard seeds. You can see.
Yep.
Then it's going to be the onion seed and the cumin. Then it's going to be the aromatics. Then it's going to be the turmeric and some ground coriander. Now this is very thought out. This is important. This is kind of like a little bit of the secret of Indian cuisine. Okay? And that is that you can add, I don't want to overdo it with the ghee, so I'm going to add a little bit of oil with this. But whenever you cook with spices, they need to bloom. That's the term, bloom. They need to get some heat into them to release the oils, to release the flavor. Okay, so in a pan or with whole spices, you bloom in a pan, either dry roast or with fat. You never put a powder into a pan because the powder will burn. Okay? So the first thing, and you also cook your spices, you don't throw them all together. They cook kind of differently. Mustard seeds will take a little bit more time, let's say, than the cumin and the onion seed. Okay? So you don't just toss all your spices together. You do them in batches or even one at a time. Okay? So first thing that's going to go in is the onion, is the mustard seed. Now, how do I know they're blooming? They're going to start to pop. I'm going to hear a pop. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then the cumin and the black, the kalonji goes in. Okay, so we have a seed. When I cook seeds, I cook the seeds in a pan, either dry roast or with fat. All right. Now, how do I know that the cumin is done and the onion seed is done? Aroma, strong aroma in this house right now. And on top of that, they change color a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. They're not burning. You don't want them to burn. I'm going to turn my heat a little low. Now I throw in the aromatics. That kind of cools everything down a little bit. Okay? And now I cook the aromatics. Soften them. Okay? If I want to add a little bit more fat, I could easily add a little bit more fat. Okay? So if you cannot put ground spices into a pan, what do you do with them? How do you bloom them? Because they need to bloom as well.
Right.
So what you do is you cook the aromatics first. And you let the aromatics sweat a little bit. You let the aromatics soften. And then the powder will go onto the aromatics. In this case, they are ginger and shallots. This is not a particularly spicy dish. Okay? I don't want to make it too spicy. You know, it's the end of the summer. We had enough heat already.
Right.
Right? So these vegetables are cooking. Not the vegetables, the mushrooms are cooking. They're almost done. But the aromatics are cooking. They'll be done in a minute. Okay?
You're looking for translucency, right?
Yeah. Soft, yes. Translucency, softness. Right. Okay? So again, big tip. Big secret of Indian cuisine. Whole spices will bloom all the time. Whole spices, you dry roast or in fat. That's how you bloom them. And your powders only after you cook some aromatics in the pan. So now I can say I'm ready. So now I can take these ground spices, add them in. Okay. They kind of get a little bit moist from the moisture released in the vegetables. Okay. But let's say you look at it. I want this to cook for a few minutes. Okay. I can just easily bring this over, give it a couple of shots of water, and now let it cook out. Now really give it a few minutes to cook. Okay. And what's going to happen here is the turmeric and the ground coriander are really going to be able to bloom. Everybody following?
Yes, chef.
This is, where I said this is an improv dish, the vegetable part of it is. in terms of what my combinations are. The method, the procedure of making this curry, really, is how great Indian cooking is done, or how I was taught.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of your spices, you can also use that. What kind of spices you use, you could play around with that. If you want to add a little bit of fenugreek, if you want to add more cumin, if you want to add a little bit more ginger, if you want to add some chilies. If you wanted this to be a bit of a hot dish, you could add some chilies, and I would add that to. I would add it with the aromatic. Okay. There's a lot of you can add. There's a lot of different kind of spices you can use. Okay, so we ready?
Yeah, sure.
So next, I'm going to pull this over. I'm going to add these spices into the chickpeas. Okay. I'm going to add some coconut milk.
Chef, what does the coconut milk do for a curry? What is it? Does it kind of like bring everything together?
Yeah. It's just kind of the base, kind of the base liquid of the sauce.
Mm-hmm.
This particular one, yeah, that's all. Coconut milk is delicious. There's a beautiful texture when it cooks down. So yeah, it's just a basic. Other variations of this would be if I would have added some tomatoes. Okay, I could add some tomatoes to the to that when I cook the spices. I could add some tomatoes to that, and then cook the tomatoes down a little bit. Okay, and add the tomatoes in. It could have been a complete tomato curry, basically.
Yeah.
The tomato as the base. I could add the tomatoes and mix the curry with it. Okay. Again, be experimentative. You wanted to use an alternative milk, something like cashew milk. I love the texture and the flavor of cashew milk.
Yeah,
definitely. Cashew milk would be a good choice here.
There's just so many. There's an exponential. So many different variations you can get from not coconut curry. And there's so many variations in addition to Indian cuisine as well. So that we
exactly.
Lucky enough to growing up. So
the curry is going to cook now for a little bit, just to thicken up a little bit. It thickens up pretty fast. I'll add a little bit of salt to it, a little bit of pepper. Okay, bring the camera back here. See our veggies?
Ooh,
there are
beautiful.
There are veggies mixed. Okay, I can actually add the greens right in here, because once I put them in the greens also with some additional curry leaves, if you noticed. Okay, because once I cut the kale into what's called chiffonade, so it's a very thin slice. Once it hits the curry, it's going to cook almost immediately. Right.
So as a reminder for those that came in later, that's Tuscan kale. You got lion's mane. You got oyster. What are we missing? Anything? Curry leaves.
Shiitake.
And
the cauliflower, the roasted cauliflower.
Yes, roasted cauliflower.
Yeah. So that's our basic vegetable curry today, coconut curry, along with the chickpeas, which brings in a really solid protein into the meal.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Along with the chickpeas, right? That's key here. But yeah, if you want to, instead of mushrooms, you want to do cauliflower and potatoes, sweet potato and mushrooms. There's so many combinations, so many So many combinations on that. So this is cooking. It's looking nice already. It's going to be done soon. It thickens pretty soon.
Are you looking for it to come up to a boil or just
simmer,
yeah. Right? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So then in the meantime, let's make a bread or two. Okay. Okay, as I said before, this bread is very soft, which is perfect. I'm going to pull out some cilantro from the fridge. Because we're going to do something really fun with the cilantro. It's been washed. Just going to cut it up. Chop it up. Okay. I'm going to make a couple of nice big pieces of bread here. On time? Yeah, Colin, we're doing good on time?
Yes. Take your time, chef.
Great. Okay, so I'm rolling this out. So basically I'm making a paratha. This is called a paratha. So it's a nice high moisture content like dough.
Okay. What would that be akin to?
Well, it's a type of Indian bread that's pan fried. It's not a chapati. A chapati is more cooked on the dry griddle and then the open flame. So this is a style of Indian bread. The dough is soft. It has the fennel seed in for flavor. Okay. And then almost done. The sauce is almost done. And then a little bit of ghee down. Again, if you don't want to use ghee, you can use coconut oil. Okay. But here's the fun part. I hope everybody's paying attention on this part. All right. So I rolled it out. A little bit of ghee or fat. Cilantro. Yeah, that's a lot of cilantro. Okay. So a little bit of cilantro. All right. Now I'm going to bring it up.
Oh, wow.
Kind of like a dumpling.
Yeah, it reminds me of the first thing we made in school. What is it, an apple or a peach galette?
Something like that. A little different.
Yeah, a little bit different. More on the savory side.
Yeah, but also completely covered. It's completely covered.
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah.
And now I'm going to roll this out again. So what did I do? I created layers. You see I created a layer. This is like a stuffed bread. Stuffed bread, stuffed with cilantro, fennel seed in the dough. This is heavenly. And it's going to go so nicely with the dish. And it's whole, it's mostly whole. This one is 50% whole wheat. Okay. Look at how gorgeous that is. Yes.
Oh, that is beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Well, let's cook it up. Let me know if we're good here.
Are we focusing on the
stovetop again?
Okay, gotcha. Yep, we're good.
Okay. I'm going to cook this in a cast iron pan. Here is our sauce. I want it to be a little bit thicker, so I would say another few minutes. I'm going to taste it. It looks beautiful. Chickpeas, again, they cook for an hour. They're done. But they're not broken up. Chickpeas are beautiful because they don't really break up and disintegrate.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I wish, however many people you have out there watching, I wish that I can give you a taste of this.
Yeah, me too. I'm coming over tomorrow.
Because even though it's getting a little bit on the late side here in New York area, this is going to be my dinner tonight.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's going to be my dinner tonight. Take a little bit of ghee. Again, can be coconut oil or canola oil. And then we cook the bread. It's a flat bread. It's a non-yeasted bread. It cooks very fast.
Mm.
We're going to give one last shot of heat to the to this curry right here. All these amazing veggies go in.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful.
Looks beautiful. Not too many veggies for sauce. Not too much sauce for veggies. It looks good, doesn't it? Can you see?
It's beautiful.
Yep.
So you just mix it in. You don't really need to cook it down even more because the veggies are already cooked.
The stove is off. This is off.
Okay.
Yep. This is off.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. All I'm going to do is finish the bread, which should take another couple minutes. And that's our curry. Improv on the veg side, but very thought out, very classic. Real learning. Practicing and following kind of the rules of really good Indian cooking there. And when you taste it, you just feel it. You just feel that the depth of flavor. You feel those spices come together. You feel the complexity in there. And it's just something that's so magical. The last thing is going to be is a little squeeze of lemon.
All right, all right.
And it's a little bit of acid that just brings out the flavor a little bit more. You don't need a lot. See how much I put in there? Very little. This needs to cook a little bit more.
So as you're cooking down that, I wanted, because I know that, over your professional career, you've also taught culinary classes surrounding Ayurvedic principles.
Yes.
How much of it is similar? How much of it is different in terms of just general Indian cooking? Is it a case by case based off of, a person or a patient, constitution? Can you speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. Ayurveda is very much part of my makeup, my personality, and in terms of, my field of study. And I'm always thinking along those lines. So the first thing is, I could adjust this towards someone's particular dosha, it's called, someone's particular body type. I could make it a little bit more cooling or a little bit more heating with the choice of vegetables and even choices of the legume. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yep. And that's first. But one of the most important things, hold on. Yeah, that's nice. Okay. So one of the most important things is getting a balance of the 6 tastes. So the 6 tastes are sweet, sour, salty, pungent, bitter, and astringent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And when these flavors come together, you have a really satisfying feeling. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention, the energy of these flavors creates a very balanced effect in the body. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So in this particular dish, all 6 tastes are present.
Mm.
All 6 tastes are present, so nothing is missing. So sweet, where is sweet? Well, sweet is in the bread right here, number 1. Okay. Sweet is in the fact that I roasted the cauliflower and brought out the sweetness. Okay. Sweet is in the coconut milk, right? Sweet is in the coconut milk. Where's sour? Sour is in the lemon. Okay. Now just that little squeeze of lemon is good enough. Another alternative or another way to get some nice sour element is tamarind. Tamarind. I love tamarind, so a little bit of tamarind paste would have been great, really nice in here. So sweet, sour, salty. We have salt. I added salt. Pungent are all the spices and all the herbs.
Mm-hmm.
We have six different spices in this particular dish. We have cilantro. We have ginger. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we have a lot of pungent. Bitter are the greens, the leafy greens. Okay. And astringent. Astringent are vegetables. Mm-hmm. So cauliflower is a bit of a bitter note, so it could be astringent bitter. And mushrooms are astringent. They're kind of dry. So we have all tastes in one particular dish. It really, yeah.
In terms of, is that important to get the 6 tastes, from a culinary, is it just from a culinary perspective to kind of have a nice balance of, of the flavoring, or is it important in terms of like Ayurvedic cooking or principles where you're trying to reach like a certain balance or homeostasis within someone's like constitution is one of the goals of the cooking, would you say?
Yeah, I would say both are correct. From the point of view of just culinary, this is what chefs mean when they say they're building flavor into the dish. Mm-hmm. Right? But building flavor making it into a beautiful structure, a united structure, a coherent structure of flavor. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. So they're building flavor into the dish. And this takes it to the top level in terms of the 6 tastes of Ayurveda. But at the same time, it's very balancing. Yes, it's very balancing to our constitution when we're getting the effects of all of these particular tastes. It would take me a little too long. We should do a whole class on Ayurveda to tell you what are the benefits of eating sweet taste, what are the benefits of eating sour, salty, pungent, astringent.
Yeah. We'll definitely have to do a segment just more in depth with Ayurvedic cooking.
Yeah. It'd be a pleasure. So that's what we have. That's what we have tonight. Not a lot of questions. Any questions out there?
No, I actually haven't had any questions right in, which probably means that, when people, eat at a dinner table, for example, and everyone is quiet, everyone is just enjoying their meal, right? So everyone is, enjoying it vicariously by watching, and, you're a wonder to watch. So, it's definitely, wonderful to see this. So especially in your own home. So I really appreciate it.
Great. I appreciate so much you asking me.
Yeah, definitely. Is the curry done? Can we see it?
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, of course.
Let's see it plated, if you don't mind, chef.
Yeah. I have just the right bowl. Hold on.
Oh wow.
Freshen it up a little bit right here. Okay.
And how would you garnish this, would you say?
With some cilantro.
Cilantro? Yeah,
I'm gonna put some cilantro in there. Yeah.
That's what I would done too.
Here's the cilantro.
Yeah, we have to turn the camera around, chef.
Okay.
All right. Oh, that's beautiful.
Right?
Oh man, that's beautiful. Yeah.
That's really nice. Really nice. And at any point, if you see that the sauce gets a little bit dry, you can add a little bit of water, get a little bit more coconut milk to just loosen it up a little bit.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's really nice. Really a beautiful dish.
Chef Rich, thank you so much for allowing us to come into your home and be able to cook for us tonight. I wish this was a very different venue where we could be like back in the day, Friday night dinners and see all the graduates. Every single Friday, we'll have such a special event and be back at NGI, or Natural Gourmet Institute. And for those that are not familiar with Anne-Marie Coleman's work, she's the founder of Natural Gourmet Institute, and she was like a pioneer back in the day. Especially for me, when I first went to school, there wasn't that many vegan or plant-based or health supportive schools. And so I was very lucky to kind of stumble upon, NGI. For those that don't know, and you could probably just, have an entirely different session on this, what was your biggest 3 takeaways, that you would, knowing, Anne-Marie Coleman and having worked, alongside and worked there for so many years, what would you say are the biggest 3 takeaways, Anne-Marie Coleman would convey to someone in terms of the plant-based and the health supportive mission of her work by creating that school?
That's a beautiful question, really beautiful question. And before we close, I just wanted to say how thankful I am to be here, and also how incredibly inspiring it is to see the work that you're doing. It's just unbelievable how you're bringing all this knowledge, how you're bringing all this knowledge out through your podcasts and through all that you do. So, you are an inspiration. I would say Anne-Marie has taught us something that's so simple, but has taken a long time for people to understand, is that food is medicine. Food is medicine. It has the potential to bring health, and it has the potential to bring ill health and disease. Right? That's number one. To take it seriously, take the food that we eat seriously. It's a really important thing. Number 2, eat right, and that means favor plants that are whole. Plant-based diet is the best diet. Okay, it doesn't mean you have to be 100%. Depends on where you stand, but lean towards plants and make them whole. Whole means, if your choice is between white bread and whole wheat, go more for the whole wheat. Okay. If it's, use the whole vegetable rather than juicing it and losing the fiber. Okay? So eat more whole foods and eat more good quality plant foods, vegetables, fruits, nuts, grains, legumes. Very, very important. Okay? Not to say don't have protein, whatever kind of protein you want. In fact, you need protein. You need to have vegetable protein if you're not eating animal protein. So you choose on that. And the third thing, which she really taught people, is to enjoy cooking. To just feel comfortable cooking. Feel comfortable in your kitchen cooking. Feel comfortable pulling out things and whipping up a meal. Having somebody, once you get the basics, it's so easy to just create a nice meal. Because when you're cooking at home, if you're cooking at home a majority of the time, or if you're cooking for yourself or others, you're eating a good diet. That goes a long way to your health. Rather than if you're at the hands of a restaurant, because you don't know the levels of salt or whatever else they're putting into the food. I mean, that's why I choose good restaurants. That's important. But certainly, processed foods, which are just full of salt and sugar and chemicals and preservatives. You want to be able to stay away from that and feel comfortable enough and feel joyful enough in the kitchen that you can cook for yourself. I think that goes a long way towards your health. So those three things, I would say. She's given us many, many, many things, but
so many
things. But those are the three that come out. Eat whole foods, plant-based, cook for yourself, and understand that food is medicine.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Dr. Coleman has definitely passed on, and I was very lucky to have met her. And I know you've worked with her for many years, and her legacy definitely, lives on, not just in the original group of instructors and present and future instructors and alumni, and obviously continued into the Institute of Culinary Education. I know they've done very well to kind of pass on that legacy. And, we just need more of this. I'm sure you would agree, Chef Rich, we just need more of this to kind of push the message forward in terms of plant-based and health supportive, culinary arts and, home cooking and professional cooking to, the masses, and to say that, if, someone is just curious or, wanting to transition, that they know something more than just a salad, that they know something more than, than just the basics, broccoli and carrots and things like that. There's so much more. And, again, thank you so much for, what you do and the legacy that you continue to leave behind. And you're not even stopping, you're doing amazing things. You're in a master's program, you're continuing to inspire others. So, you are an inspiration to me and countless others. So I really appreciate, the work you do, and definitely, very, very grateful.
Thank you so much. And it's meeting students like you who are doing what you're doing is also an inspiration to me. So thank you so much.
I know you don't do too much on social media, Chef Rich, but what would be the best way for others to kind of reach out or to learn more about the programs at, ICE?
If you want to learn specifically about the programs at ICE, it's a very simple website. It's www.ice.edu. Okay,
gotcha.
Yeah,
and we'll definitely put that in the show notes. So again, thank you, Chef Rich, for spending some time with us. Thank you so much for welcoming us into your kitchen, and thank you for creating such a beautiful meal that you created. I'll pan in one more time. I know that's going to be dinner time for you.
I'm going to give this plate to my wife, but I'm going to get one.
Yeah, definitely. And guys, thank you so much for watching this episode, and find us next week at 5. Actually, we have two episodes next week, so we're really excited for that. And, please say goodbye to Chef Rich. And, thank you so much. Take care. All right. Guys, thank you so much for watching that episode. We hope you enjoy it. And please remember to like and subscribe down below so you can get continuous updates for future episodes and future guests. And we can't wait for this upcoming season. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next episode.